We are slowly but surely heading towards the weekend's game against Karnak, a match where we could potentially secure 3 points, and with that, the league title this weekend. But here's the thing, we need to win on Saturday for that to be a reality. The situation is a bit odd at the moment, and I think we're all aware of it. We've been through the frustration and negativity, particularly after Sunday's match, and I'm not planning on going back into that whole mess again. Honestly, I don't think we need to revisit it right now, but that said, it's hard to ignore. The feeling that's lingering in the air. Here we are on the verge of something special with a chance to be crowned champions on Sunday, and yet there's this sense of anti-climax. It's strange because yes, winning the league would be incredible. It would be the 55th title for the club and the 4th consecutive one, and that's no small feat, but there's just something a little off about it all. It's like the team has already mentally wrapped up the season, and while lifting the trophy would obviously feel amazing, it also feels like the end has already come before the final whistle. So here's a question for you. Do you want us to win the league this weekend, even if it means not actually being on the pitch when it happens? Or would you prefer to wait a bit longer? Maybe even 2.5 weeks after the split and clinch it? Ourselves, really making it ours with a victory? Or frankly, do you not really care either way? Because trust me, it's totally fine if you don't feel overly attached to when or how we win it. It's a safe space after all though. We all have our own perspective on it, and it's okay to feel how you feel. I think for a lot of us, there's that slight tug of war between wanting to see the team win in front of us and also maybe just getting it over with so we can move on to next season. But one thing's for sure, if we do win it this weekend, it'll still be a moment of celebration, no matter the manner. That said, let's shift gears for a bit. I've got a few things I want to talk about today, a bit of an old-fashioned roundup. A few stories that caught my attention this morning, ones I think might interest you as well. First up, Kieran Tierney. Now, I've been a bit conflicted about him recently, and I know that's probably not the first thing you expected me to say. It's not the morning for me, but it is for you, so here goes. Arsenal in particular have been doing well lately, and I have to admit, despite all the history and my personal feelings, there's something about them that's starting to get under my skin. Not in the best way, mind you. For one, I've never been a fan of Mikel Arteta. I've probably made that clear in videos before. It's not just about his playing history or the issues with Kieran Tierney and how he played hardball with the lad. It's more about the fact that Arteta to me just feels, well, boring. He's always seemed like that one guy at the party who's just a little too serious, a little too calculated. And that's not my vibe, you know? It's hard to get behind someone like that. So you can imagine that the thought of him having success, especially in European competitions, is not exactly something that fills me with joy. But here's the catch. Despite all of that, there's one thing that does make me feel conflicted. Kieran Tierney, the thought of him winning the Champions League. Now, that would be something to smile about. And it's not because I'm just backing him because he's Scottish or because of his time at Celtic, though of course I'm partial to that. It's more that Kieran is just a really solid player. And when you think about how well Arsenal have been performing recently, it's hard not to acknowledge that Tierney has been playing a key part in their success. Just last night, Arsenal managed to beat Real Madrid 30 at the Emirates, a result that's left them with one foot firmly in the Champions League semi-finals. It's still a bit premature to say that they're in, of course. Real Madrid are no strangers to incredible comebacks, but the way Arsenal played was impressive. 2 superb free kicks from Declan Rice sealed the win, and that was a big moment for the team. But the thing that stood out to me, and I'm sure it did for many of you, was Kieran Tierney's performance when he came on for the final 10 minutes. Yes, he was playing left wing again, a position he's been getting more familiar with in recent weeks, but it was another sign that he's still very much in the manager's plans. It's been a bit of a mixed bag for Tierney since his move to Arsenal. He's not always been a regular starter, but he's been getting opportunities to come on and make an impact, and he's done just that in games like this. Even at Goodison Park against Everton, he came on and did well, showing that he's still got the quality to be an important player for Arsenal, even if it's only for short bursts. I know we all get caught up in the drama of watching a game in the pub sometimes, but this time I decided to actually tune in and pay attention to what Kieran was doing. And to be honest, he was pretty impressive. After the game with a few pints, in me, I thought I'd take a look at what Arsenal fans were saying about him on social media, specifically on X. And as expected, the response from the fans was overwhelmingly positive. They absolutely love Kieran Tierney, and many of them are genuinely sad that he'll be leaving this summer. I came across a few tweets that summed it up perfectly. One Arsenal fan, AJ, asked, "Is it too late to keep Tierney?" To which Celtic fan Aiden replied, "Already signed a pre-contract with the mighty Celtic." AJ responded, "Ridiculous. You got him, man. He could still be playing at the top end of Europe. He'll be a legend." Then there were others like Eduardo who said, "Kieran Tierney has been phenomenal since getting a chance again. A shame he will leave this summer." Curtis added, "Honestly, it's a shame Tierney is leaving. He is quality." Even badminton fan, who I'm assuming is a fan of the sport, tweeted, "Tierney has been great every single time he's come on. Don't know what YKK means I'm old. What could have been without the injuries, broken heart." Another Arsenal fan, Patty, said, "Kieran Tierney is still one of the best fullbacks in the league. Mad he's going to be playing in the SPL next season." There were even comments from fans acknowledging that Tierney's injury problems were an issue, but that he could still be a key asset, especially if he's managed properly. What struck me about all of this was the sheer volume of love and appreciation for Kieran Tierney from the Arsenal fan base. And it wasn't just a few positive tweets hidden in a sea of negativity. No, this was the overwhelming sentiment from most Arsenal fans. They love him, they recognize his talent, and they're genuinely sad to see him go. I think it's a real shame that things didn't work out more for him at Arsenal, but his time there certainly won't be forgotten. Looking ahead, there's a real sense of excitement surrounding Tierney's future at Celtic. If we manage to bring him back, it'll be a massive coup for the club, and honestly, I think he's going to be a game changer for us. Having a left back with the ability to push forward, advance the ball from deep, and create chances is something we've missed. Tierney's ability to whip in crosses and create opportunities for his teammates is exactly what we need. And given the current struggles within the squad, his presence could really make a difference for Celtic going forward. His understanding of the club, the standards expected, and his mentality as a Celtic player will be invaluable. Yes, they are. Injury concerns, but if we can manage him and use his talents effectively, I genuinely think he'll be a major asset. As much as I may not want Mikel Arteta lifting the Champions League trophy, seeing Kieran Tierney do that iconic celebration with the trophy in his hands would be something special. Now let's take a moment to shift gears and focus on something a bit closer to home. I want to bring up some news that's been making its rounds recently, and it's something I think deserves attention. First off, the situation with Alan Muir. He's no longer going to be a VAR official. That news reached us just yesterday, and honestly, it's not exactly a shocker when you look at the decisions he's been involved with recently. There's been a series of controversial moments that have ultimately led to this decision. Most notably, the goal he ruled out at Easter Road, a decision that seemed completely out of place, and to make matters worse, was later ruled to have been wrong. We'll never know if that ball was in or out, but the fact that it was overturned shows just how wrong Muir was to intervene in that moment. His decision to get involved with the assistant referee's call was another example of what many would call a bad call that just didn't sit well with anyone watching. It's not just that incident that has caused some concern, there have been others too. A few months ago, there was the incident involving a potential penalty for Maida at Fir Park, which was controversially turned down. I'm not sure what it is with Muir and Maeda, but the fact that no penalty was given and instead a free kick went the other way was definitely questionable. That's the thing with VAR though, isn't it? It's supposed to make the game more fair, but when it's used poorly, it just adds confusion and frustration. And there was that Said Haksabanovic incident at Rugby Park last season, another example of a decision that didn't go our way and led to a lot of questions. There's no denying that as a video assistant referee, Muir had a significant role, but after these recent errors, it's not surprising to see him step away from that position. The truth is, officiating is a tough gig, and it's an even tougher job when you're working with VAR. People expect perfection, but the reality is mistakes happen, and Muir isn't the only one to have made those kinds of mistakes. The remaining full-time VAR officials, Andrew Dallas and Greg Aiken, have been at the center of some questionable moments too. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not officiating in general is improving, and honestly, it's hard to say. The decisions we've seen this season don't exactly fill us with confidence, but I guess all we can do is hope things get better in the future. Moving on from that, I want to talk about something that might have caught your attention recently. Charlie Mulgrew. Yes, that's right. He's no longer a manager at Celtic Hearts, having resigned just a few months after taking the job in January. And when I first heard this news, I'll admit I was a little surprised. Not because I didn't think he could be a manager, but because I honestly didn't even realize he'd taken the job in the first place. I don't know if you knew this, but Charlie Mulgrew had been managing Celtic Hearts for just 11 games. Out of those, he won just one. It's a tough reality for any manager, especially when you consider how high the expectations are. But the fact that he couldn't make it work after such a short period of time is a stark reminder of how hard management can be. And while it's a bit of a setback for Mulgrew, it's also a reminder of just how competitive the managerial side of football is. It doesn't matter how much experience you have as a player. Being a manager is an entirely different challenge. That said, I think there's still a place for Charlie in football. Maybe he's not cut out to be a manager, but I could definitely see him in some kind of role within the club, even if it's not as a head coach. Perhaps a spot in Celtic's B team or as part of a coaching staff would be a good fit. There's a lot of value in having someone like him around someone who knows the game inside out and has a solid understanding of what it takes to succeed at the top level. But it's also worth noting that being a manager doesn't always work out right away for everyone. Just think about some of the top managers in the world who had tough starts. It's easy to forget that some of the most successful managers today had terrible first jobs, and it was only after gaining experience and learning from their mistakes that they found success. It's all part of the journey, and I think Mulgrew will find his way eventually. Whether that's in management or another role within the football world, I have no doubt that he'll continue to contribute in some way. And while we're on the subject of football, there's something else I want to mention. Ticket news. This weekend, we've got a game against Carnock, and I've heard that the match at Celtic Park is already sold out. It's not exactly a title-deciding match, but that doesn't seem to have dampened the excitement. After that, we've got the St. Johnstone game at Hampden Park. Now, as you probably know, getting tickets for cup games at Hampden can be a real challenge, even if you're a season ticket holder. And if you're not a season ticket holder, well, good luck. But this time around, Celtic have made it a little easier for fans as they've announced that tickets for the St. Johnstone game will be going on general sale. This is a bit of a rare occurrence, and it gives supporters who don't have season tickets a chance to grab a seat for the game. I received an email from the club earlier today, and I was pretty surprised to see that tickets would be available to the general public. The sale kicks off on Wednesday at 1000 a.m., so if you're hoping to get a ticket, make sure you're ready when they go live. It might not be the most exciting fixture. St. Johnstone isn't exactly the most glamorous of opponents, but it's still an important game. Plus, with the team's recent form and the fact that Celtic Park is still buzzing, it should be a decent atmosphere. And even if St. Johnstone's support isn't as massive as some other clubs, there's still a chance to see Celtic in action at Hampden. Ticket prices, however, have caused some talk. For adults, tickets in the North and South stands are priced at $40, with concessions priced at $20. Meanwhile, in the East and West stands, tickets are $30 for adults and $15 for concessions. It's a bit of a mixed reaction from fans on the pricing, but it's the reality when you're dealing with cup games and big stadiums. I still think we'll see a decent crowd. At least 3,000 Celtic fans should be there, if not more. Finally, before I wrap things up, just a quick note on upcoming content. I've got a feeling we'll have something a bit different on the channel tomorrow, but I don't want to say too much just in case it doesn't happen. Certainly on Friday, I'll have a couple of the guys on to preview the Kumar game and talk about what's going on in the world of Celtic. Things are moving fast, and I'm excited to see where things go from here. Plus, I've already got Stevie lined up to join me after the game on Saturday. Well, I haven't asked him yet, but I'm doing it now, so Stevie, I'm counting on you to be there. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for now. Thanks for sticking with Celtic AM during these weeks. It's been a ride, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you all again soon. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Could Celtic be on the brink of landing Manchester City's rising star? The buzz is real, and it's building fast. James McAtee, a name already lighting up Premier League nights and Champions League scoreboards, could soon be donning the green and white hoops of Celtic. With fans on edge and speculation mounting, this move could mark one of the most intriguing chapters in the club's recent history. McAtee, just 22, has carved out a reputation as one of England's brightest young talents. Known for his technical finesse, vision, and versatility across midfield and attack, he's long been viewed as a gem in Manchester City's academy, after a successful loan spell with Sheffield United, which included a Premier League goal and standout moments. McAtee returned to the Etihad and made an immediate impact, scoring in both the Champions League and FA Cup, and even netting a Premier League hat-trick in early 2025. Sources close to the player suggest that Celtic are pushing hard to secure either a loan deal or a permanent transfer in the summer window. The hello? A guaranteed starting role, European football, and the chance to become a talismanic figure under Brendan Rodgers. For McAtee, the move could represent not a step down, but a bold step sideways, a chance to shine on a different kind of stage. For Celtic, it's a move with vision. McAtee's arrival would inject youthful energy and high-level experience into a side chasing dominance in Scotland and credibility in Europe. His Champions League experience and explosive performances for City make him an ideal fit for a club looking to evolve beyond domestic supremacy and into a continental contender. While no deal is yet confirmed, the rumblings are growing louder. And if McAtee does make the leap to Celtic Park, fans can expect not just flair, but fireworks. This could be more than just a signing. It could be the beginning of something truly special in Glasgow. Hello fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.